Alright, YouTubers, welcome back. My name's Dave, like always, and you found do it yourself, do it right. Well, got my Ford shirt on. My Ford hat is actually out in the GMC and it's raining, and I don't want to get wet, so I'm gonna leave it in there. I'm gonna put, I got my Dollar General special hat on. So if you guys caught my last video, actually it was probably the last video, the Monday Labor Day video, I guess I should say. You guys know that my goal is to make as many videos as I can on the old Ford back here. I'm devoting all my time and energy and money, savings account, sanity, to getting the old car back running reliably so I can go down the road and not have to worry about breaking down while I'm heading to a show, or from a show for that matter. In today's video, I'm gonna address I think the #1 issue right now, and that is the rear suspension. It's sagging, especially on this side, and it's given up. It's time to replace the leaf springs, and I got some on order. They'll be here a few days. So my goal for today is to get the car up on jack stands and take the old leaf springs out, let the car sit till I get the old ones, trying to be a little proactive here, and get the old ones out. So let's get at it. If you guys have one of these, these old Fords, 54, 55, 56, 57, the older variety of the 50s, you know that, finding parts, it's a little bit difficult. So what I did is I went on the old Facebook and got on a couple of the old Crown Vic groups, the Fairlane group, and started asking questions. Hey, where do I get parts? Where can I go? Who's got the best parts, the best quality parts? I know they're going to be reproduction parts. They're not going to be new old stock parts, but and you old timers, y'all came through. So thanks a lot to you guys. Went on there, posed a question for springs. Where do I find springs? And a whole bunch of websites came up. Like, people recommended T-Bird Parts of Pennsylvania, Larry's Thunderbird Parts. I guess they're in California. Of course, Dennis Carpenter was another place to get parts. I already knew about that place because of a magazine that I get. But a lot of people recommended this this website. I got it pulled up on my computer up here. That's why I keep looking up. The website is General Springs KC, and I'll show you the website. Here you go. It's they basically have springs for anything that you want. What I did is I basically, where did I go? What are you looking for? Springs. You just go to shop now here. I mean, you can figure out the website. Typed in 1955. Oh, here you go. You click on Ford. Oh, here, let's do this. You go over here to make. Well, let me go back. Anyways, you go to make. Go over here to Ford. Model, obviously, throw in your model. It is a Fairlane. Year. Oh, well, look at that. Why are they only, maybe, let's go to Victoria. Maybe it's a Crown Vic, maybe. A, B, Cyclone, Fairlane, Falcon, Galaxy, Granada. Let's just put in passenger car. So what does that do? There we go, passenger car, 49 of 56. Find my leaf spring. And there you go, it pops up. And so there it is. 56, actually what does it say? 55 and 56 passenger car rear end 5-spring or 5-leaf spring. And that's you know, that's all there is to it. Obviously they have a whole bunch of different makes, models. Go on there. You know, there was 4 or 5 people actually recommended that site. So you know, I threw in my order. So goal for today is let's get those old ones out. Alright guys, so as you could probably tell from that video, I'm not a fan of putting cars on jack stands, leaving them on jacks, that kind of thing. I don't like working under vehicles that are on jacks. But unfortunately, this is one of those times that you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So got the car jacked up as you saw. Got a jack stand under the frame on both sides. One there. One on the other side. I also have 2 jack stands underneath the rear end, and I'm going to go ahead and pull off each of the back wheels so I can do the, you know, the reach around motion. You know, I can reach around and get to those bolts. You know, I got to be able to get to the U-bolts to drop down so I can drop that spring out, and then I got to be able to, you know, lay down and get the shackles. And once I get that tire off, I'll get you up in there so you can see exactly what I'm talking about if you don't already know. Alright, so change of plans number 1. I forgot how much of a pain in the nether regions it is to get these tires down and out of these wheel wells. They're a bit wider than what they're supposed to be. My father, you know, he wanted the Kragers on there, so he put those tires on a while ago. And they're just a pain in the butt. I totally forgot. I started dilly-dallying. I was like, oh yeah, whatever. I'll just get the leaf springs out from, you know, working around the tire. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I'm working with here. All right, so I mean, for those of you that are, you know, mechanically inclined, this is your leaf spring. This is your rear shackle. So basically what I gotta do is I have to take this loose, get it out of the mount. Oh boy, so that's going to be fun because now the exhaust is going to be in the way. Yeah, that's always good. So I'm going to have to take the top one off, get it out. I don't know what I'm going to do for this bottom one because that exhaust is new, and yeah, that's not going to be fun to deal with. So anyways, got to get these loose somehow, and then I got to get under here, and I'll show you the U-bolts that mount to the you know, to the rear end. You can see them, you know, they're U's, they're shaped like a U. They just go up around there. So I got to drop these 4 bolts. Hopefully I can push those U-bolts up, and then of course if you look way up there, there's just 1 bolt up there that I got to take loose, and then hopefully I can just slide, and I'm saying hopefully I can just slide this whole leaf spring assembly out. Now, I've never done this before, you know, it's you know, it's just you know, everything's an experiment really. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Probably be unsuccessful like I was just trying to take the tire off, but yeah, let's do it. All right, so you know, plan C, subsection A. After a bunch of crawling around and looking and examining and whatnot, I decided that I'm gonna have to take those tires off. So what I did is I jacked the living bejesus out of it, got the back end way up in the air, let the suspension down, took the tires off, and took the shocks off on the perch. And this is what I'm working with here. As you can see, I got my jack under there, got my jack stands there just in case. The suspension is completely down. There's no load on this suspension. As you can see, the leaf springs. I had to take the shock loose because the shock mounts on this perch down here. And you know, the shock wouldn't let the suspension sag low enough, so it relieves all the pressure off from off from the springs. So yeah, after you know, like I said, some careful calculations and whatnot, you know, I figured that out. I figured I had to take the wheels off to get more room, so I didn't have to jack the car up that much higher. But I did realize that I don't have the equipment right now to bust these U-bolts loose. Those nuts are you know, they're on there. I'm gonna have to grab up my my big breaker bar that's up at the hangar. I'm gonna grab that tomorrow when I'm at work. Gonna grab my my big torque wrench, so when I, you know, pull all this apart, I got the torque wrenches to torque it back the way it's supposed to be. And yeah, so you know, to be continued tomorrow. See you back here hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully you know, the springs will be here in a couple days, and I can wrap this job up. All right, YouTubers, it's the you know, it's the next day. I had to grab some big tools from work. I also went and bought a big tool because, you know, I plan on doing a bunch of suspension work on this old car. Up front, you know, I've got a whole kit, bearings and bushings and you name it. I bought that a while ago. Anyways, you know, my GoPro battery was on the fritz, so I went ahead and started doing some work, you know, without the GoPro. And I'm in deep. Let me tell you, I'm deep. I got the as you can see, I got the leaf spring out. Got you know, the U-bolts and the perch and part of the carrier in the back here. Got it off in the front, obviously. It you know, it's this car, you know, it's got some rust on it, so you know, getting those U-bolt nuts off was it was a chore. And then oh, the one thing I do want to show you is look at this bolt. I don't know if you can see. Oh yeah, you can see for sure. Look how worn out that bolt is. I mean, that was, you know, that's been in there a while. It's getting ready to snap. Hopefully hopefully the leaf springs that I bought comes with those bolts. If not, I'm gonna have to go ahead and order bolts. But yeah, it's you know, if you take a look in there, I'm gonna turn the light on. You know, it's pretty rusty. I'm gonna try to clean that up a bunch. I got a wire brush over here, so you know, I'm gonna do some dirty work, get my hands dirty, and then I'm gonna jump over to the other side, and I'm gonna snatch that side off too, to make sure that you know, those bolts on that side are not worn out. You know, if they are, it is what it is. I'm glad to catch them now. If you guys look at these bushings on this on the spring, you know, they're just, you know, they're old, they're worn up, they're worn out, they're beat up. Look at that guy there. I believe that actually has a metal. Yep, that's metal on the inside of there. Look how worn out that is. It looks like it's even cracked. I mean, I didn't even look at all that. Oh yeah, it's cracked in there too. See how it's kind of laid over itself? Yeah, so, you know, this side has definitely seen better days. So I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the other side. All right, guys, so you know, I'm gonna show you everything that I've done over here. And what I basically did is I basically went and loosened everything up. There's the 2 U-bolts. And as you can see down here, you know, I got the bolts, I got the nuts just hanging on by a couple of threads. Also up here I got this guy knocked loose on the other side. This was the bolt on the other side that was totally worn out. I'm assuming this is probably the same way. I got the shocks off. If you guys are wondering why I'm not replacing the shock, is, well, because I already did that last summer. And then again back here I got these 2 guys busted loose, the shackle. She's loose, she's ready to go. I just received the springs in the mail. They ship pretty quick actually. So here's the new one. I ordered it a couple of days ago because I knew this had to be done. I also ordered shackles, which they have not come yet. They said they shipped them in 2 different boxes, but yet the springs, the heavy big springs, get here before the small shackles get here. So go figure. What I didn't order was U-bolts and those other bolts. So I'm gonna run up to the hardware store. There's a I guess it's an Ace hardware store. It's a true, you know, small town hardware store with bins of bolts, and you know, people go in there with the farm equipment and buy big bolts and whatnot. And so it's a true hardware store. I'm pretty sure they'll have U-bolts for me. I thought these would be okay, but after further inspection, you can see that you know, the top side, it's pretty worn out. It's flat. It's not supposed to be flat. And then the rest of it's pretty rusted. These threads here, you know, non-existent really. So I'm just gonna go buy 4 new U-bolts. I should have ordered them when I ordered the springs and the shackles, but I was being lazy and I didn't want to measure them, and they seem like they're a little bit expensive on that website. So here I am going to a local hardware store to see if I can find U-bolts. All right, it's 2 days later, and you know, this is what I'm dealing with. Got some parts in. I got finally got my shackles in, so I'm gonna go ahead and you know, put those on. And I have ran into a problem, I should say, and it's nothing that a good 4-inch cutting wheel can't fix. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So we get up underneath here to the shackle, and shackle can't come out because the shackle goes that way. And if you notice, if the shackle goes this way, my new exhaust system is, well, you know, it's in the way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna beat that shackle over, take that cutting wheel and just cut it off, and then I'll just install the shackle the other way, so you know, the bolts go in and I can put the nuts on the other side. So that should fix that problem, hopefully. And you know, let's see, I think the only issue I'm gonna run into doing it that way is possibly yeah, well, maybe nope, that should be. I think I'm gonna have to put the spring on it first and then slide it in there, but you know, we'll deal with that when the time comes. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some clear eye protection and zip that thing off. Wow, sorry for not filming that part of the process. It's wow. It's as you can see, I've added to my tool collection. I got files, I got grinders, I got hammers, I got pry bars. You know, I pretty much have everything that I think I can, or I thought I could get this thing together with. Let me just say that these springs, they're not exact fit. I actually had to use my cutting wheel and trim off some of the bushing on the forward side of the spring. You know, the ones that came, they were too wide. And I'll show you over here on the spring that's going to go in this side eventually. Yep, see, this one's going to be probably the same way. See how this sucker hangs out? So far, this isn't even centered. So I'm going to have to probably bang that in a little bit and then cut a lot of that off just to get it to go up in the body mount. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. This, you know, I had to get new hardware because the hardware I showed you earlier is worn out, and I believe that's a shouldered bolt. So I just went with a 7/16 size grade. I believe 8 bolts to put it back together. And this side is the side that you're gonna have to grind out, make bigger, whatever you want to say, because the bolt doesn't want to go through unless you get a shoulder bolt, like, you know, like the original one. But I figured, heck, I just get the bigger bolt and sand it, grind it, make it fit. So that's what I did. And then you know, this is where you had to do some trimming. I trimmed on this side, and then I sanded a little bit on this side to get it up in there. And then I used the good old Daytona jack and put it up underneath there. Let's see if I can turn some lights on. There we go. Use the old Daytona jack, put it up underneath here, get this little hole lined up that goes in your rear end. And yeah, there you have it. So then I got the shackles, the new shackle back here. As you can see, I installed it the other way, so the nuts are on that side. So in the future, if I have to take that back apart, I could just take the nuts off and then pull the shackle out with those bushings. Those fit in there real nice. Those bushings, they're gonna squish in there, you know, make it real tight. So like I said, sorry I didn't get to videotape all that. It was hot and heavy in here. As you can see, I'm sweating. It's only like 78 degrees out today, but you know, when you're working, and I was a little bit frustrated. So yeah, didn't videotape it, but you get the gist of whatever or everything that I did. I got one new U-bolt. I was unable to find more locally. I did order some. So again, I'm sure this winter I'm going to be pulling this back apart to replace the U-bolts. I also ordered new rubber mounts. These guys here. Why not? I'm actually trying to hurry up and get this rear end back together because there is a car show this weekend, and I want to take the car. It would be the first show in New York, and it's in my hometown. So that's why I'm gonna go ahead and throw some of these old parts back on, even though I got the new ones on order. They'll come in, I think it's like a 2-week shipping time. They're coming from California, so I don't have that much time. I'll just have to jack up the rear end and redo this this winter time. Not a big deal now that I know what I'm doing. I'll change one U-bolt at a time. Pretty easy. Actually, I'll have to drop the whole thing to replace those rubbers, but like I said, oh well. You know, I'm gonna have the car up in the air anyways, so not that big a deal. But yeah, so this is, you know, it's coming together slowly but surely. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the U-bolts on, get the whole thing back together, and I'll bring you back then. All right, so U-bolts are tight, front mount's tight. The guy up there, that one's tight. And then I got the U-bolts right here, as you can see. Those are also tight, all 4 of them. You got to make sure that you get them tight in about equal thread length here. That way you know that this sucker is sitting flat. And then you got to make sure that your leaf spring is sitting flat on your perch here, which it is. There's a little circle in there. You can see that rubber thing poking through. Got to make sure that all lines up because there's a bolt. Yeah, maybe you can see it. I'm not sure. I don't think so. Oh, right here. Yeah, here's another piece of the other rubber thing. One end is the bolt, the other end is the nut. And you got to make sure that they line up. And then, of course, I got the shackles back here. Those are all tight. And the only thing left to do is hook up the shock. But I'm going to wait till I get that leaf spring changed out over there. So then I can put my jack up underneath the rear end, jack the rear end up, and then just slide the shock into the shock mount, which is right there. So, on to the other side.
Yeah, make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night? Yeah, make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive and save it. What keeps you up at night? Yeah, make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night? Yeah, make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Oh
All right, so it's the moment of truth. Got the jack stand out from the other side. Gonna jack this side up, get this jack stand out, and let the car down, and hopefully this side doesn't sag. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm going for. And you know, let's do it. All right, I'm gonna get this jack stand out. Wow. I'm gonna let it down and move it back a little bit. It's jacking the front end up now. We're over here. Now let's get the old jackaroonie. I really hate jacking cars. It's just, you know, that's how a lot of people get hurt. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Let's move everything out of the way. Let's, you know, keep your eye on the tire and this space here. You know, I want to make sure that she's not sagging. Here we go. Alrighty, well, let's go check out the other side. Let's see what we got on the other side. This is, you know, that's where she's riding. Let's jump over here to this side. That's where she's riding on this side. Still looks like she's a little low, doesn't it? Huh? Yeah. Still looking a little low. Let's go ahead and get a tape measure out. Alright, so I got my measuring stick out, and I measure over here, and we're at 19 and a half, call it 19 and a quarter. And then over here, and get back in the light, because it is dark, it's late, you know, burning the midnight oil. And then over here we got, well, we're looking at 20 inches. So I think what we're looking at here, folks, is just the difference in my floor. It's definitely not even, and I'll show you why I say that. As I take you outside, remember it's dark, and if you look at the floor, it's definitely not even. And before I started this adventure, if you will, I measured the tail. I measured the how far off the bumper was to the ground, and let me tell you, it wasn't very far off. And we're at about, well, from here to there, it looks about like 13 and a quarter inches. When before, when I measured it, we were at about 11 and a half. So she was down there. And you know she was down there, if you can't probably see it right now. Oh, here we go, we'll turn some light. You know she was down there because she was dragging her tailpipe. Every time I went in and out of the driveway down south, she dragged the tailpipe. So, you know, we gained a good, you know, about an inch, right? So yeah, it was about an inch. So, yeah, so I guess that's not terrible. If you look at these springs, they needed to be replaced, and you know, this is the reason why you look at that bushing, man. It is just tore up. It's cracked. It's broken. There's no rubber. This one was actually not bad. This one's got some rubber left on it, but you know, I'm changing one. I might as well change both of them. You know, this rubber back here is pretty toasty. So, you know, I guess project number 1 on the Ford restoration is complete. Like I said earlier, I do have some parts that I will change out, but that'll be later on. That'll be in the winter time when I have the whole car up. Just trying to get this thing back together so I can run over to a car show on Sunday. So yeah, whew. It was fast and furious. I'm hot, I'm sweaty, I need a shower, because good thing you don't have smell-o-vision, because I stink. So that's gonna do it for this number 1 restoration video of the Ford. Like you guys do at the end of all my videos, like, tag, share, follow, subscribe, hit the notification bell when you know if you want to know when I drop a new video, which is typically Thursdays at 6 p.m. So like always, till next time, thanks a lot.